into a messenger of humanity's fate, and with an army of war machines heralding the end, the moon is set on a collision course with the Earth. An important note to make about Gurren Lagann, the show, aside from the overall story, is exactly the type of story that is being told here. It is a mecha anime, but it's not just that, and it's not just an end of the world or a coming of age tale, though it contains all of these things. Really, at its heart, it's just this over-the-top, crazy story that moves almost at the speed of thought, and it really doesn't take itself too seriously. And it's purposefully intended that way, not only to create some really bizarre situations and some really epic sequences of actions and events, but because it seems as though it doesn't really take itself too seriously, it just moves really fast, it's just really kind of fun, it allows the show at the end to really highlight two important things. One is that it can have now these really highly improbable yet very entertaining animated battles that are just so over the top that it just pulls you in and gets your heart racing. And secondly, to highlight the spirit which the heroes exhibit, their determination to overcome all obstacles. Because the show really isn't going to get too deep into anything such as like physics or how the gunmen actually operate, or even really most of the character arcs, it can then really highlight how humanity is struggling to overcome these obstacles, which is very important for the climax at the end, how really all of their struggles lead to one specific moment to reveal a pretty neat concept of the human spirit. Now, to answer the second question, what is the purpose of this fight? Well, it is the culmination of the entire series thus far, as very well an end battle should be. It is the fight to rescue Nia from the anti-spiral, and to save humanity, and to destroy the anti-spiral itself. Things really heat up when Rossio tries to evacuate humanity from the Earth in episode 22, and they get caught in a trap that's been set by the enemy. Rossio thought that he could succeed in escaping by reanimating the Spiral King's head and using it as a navigating computer and AI to help pilot this giant ark into space. However, humanity cannot win on knowledge alone. It's the human spirit that will get them through, and Zimon, piloting Gurren Lagann, is able to tap into that power, and he leads a charge of the old Team Daiguren to break the trap. They then commandeer the Ark itself and use the Spiral King's knowledge to find the moon's piloting system and shut it down. Then, using Zimon and Nia's connection through their love, they open a portal to the anti-spiral dimension and swap Earth's real moon, which was placed in that dimension, with the enemy's moon weapon. And now they have a path to this other dimension, which is just full of wandering planets and galaxies that the anti-spiral just seems to have kind of collected. And once they get in there, that's when they really enter the lion's den, and the face-off against the anti-spiral forces really takes a new turn. Team Daiguren's gunmen are able to destroy much of the anti-spiral fleet, these really weird hands, face, feet things. But a lot of sacrifices are made along the way, and many of the show's heroes up until this point die in the effort to save the younger members of the team from being overwhelmed by the enemy fleet. But even with these sacrifices, it seems like the team is about to pull out the big win, but then the anti-spiral activates the next in its deadly arsenal of traps. The entire fight with the Armada has really been nothing more than to get the team to dig deep into the human spirit, or as they refer to it, their spiral energy, in order to activate what they call a spiral well. And what it is that it's really, the spiral well is a kind of black hole that pulls on other sources of spiral energy, and it swallows up Team Daiguren. And the more they struggle to break out, the more that they expend their energy, the further and quicker they are pulled into it and just crushed. They then decide that, screw this, we're not going to break out, we're going to go right at the center of the well itself, and we're going to overwhelm it with energy. And this is where you get the really emotional moment where Kitan ends up sacrificing himself to destroy the well's core and free everyone. This then releases all of the energy that the spiral well has held, and seizing upon the stored up power within the well, the Spiral Warriors are able to just break out, and they transform the entire ship into the super galaxy Gurren Lagann. They break free and start annihilating what remains of the anti-spiral armada. The anti-spiral then contacts them and reveals the true nature of spiral energy, and how if it is left unchecked, it will lead to the destruction of the entire universe. Zimon refuses, though, to give up and states that living is better than giving into fear, and he swears to rescue Nia and protect humanity from this dark fate that the anti-spiral foresees. The anti-spiral starts then manipulating probability, and just everything just starts shifting and becoming weird as they fight in the past, present, and future all at once. Through a battle of planets and massive machines, the team jumps right to Nia's location via the engagement ring that she is wearing, once again using that connection between her and Zimon. But they are trapped en route in another trap, this time a complex web of alternate timelines and possibilities, leading them to get lost in other lives, which diminishes their spiral energy. Then Kamina's spirit connects with Zimon and with the others and helps them to realize what it means to live, and that they need to continue fighting, that they are the ones that determine where their lives are really going to go, that they are the ones who are in complete control of their futures. The team finally comes together, and Zimon jumps everyone through his engagement ring on Nia's hand, bringing Gurren Lagann with him as well. And with everyone finally reunited, Nia and Zimon sit in the cockpit and lead the fight against the anti-spiral himself. All the survivors combine their spiral energy together, and the mecha does one last transformation to become the Goliath known as Tenga Toppa Gurren Lagann. That's a mouthful right there. But behold his majesty. The anti-spiral forgoes all traps now and takes on a form befitting of fighting Gurren Lagann in single combat. They battle it out in a field of infinite spiral energy where both sides can convert their very thoughts into reality and impose them on one another. They war with super moves on the surface of galaxies, obliterating them with their actions. And that's when the team finds out that the crown of the anti-spiral's own strange gunman is where the planet of the anti-spiral is. The world of humanoid creatures, as best we can tell, who saw that their actions would lead to the end of the universe. So they took over their own spiral powers and suppressed them, and then they scattered all other spiral beings across the universe and ruined and halted their own evolution. And they then created all of these traps to prevent any other spiral race from ever rising again. The anti-spiral starts winning the fight and gloats over humanity's lack of resolve. The Earth is exposed in the fight, and the anti-spiral moves to destroy it. Everyone back at home sees what is going on, and in proper anime fashion, they prove that cheering at the television set can help your team win. Just as the anti-spiral hits the team with the force of the Big Bang, the Spiral King, now rejuvenated for this fight, sacrifices himself to absorb the blast and convert the force of the universe's creation into pure spiral energy for Zimon to use. With now limitless power at his fingertips, the two enemies trade ferocious blows as this anti-spiral berates Zimon in his futile dreams. Zimon then responds that these dreams are what pushes humanity forward. It is the dreams of the past interwoven with the dreams of the future, a double helix becoming a drill that bores the path to humanity's destiny. Whatever they desire, they can make that happen. That is the power of the human spirit. The team then impales their ship on the anti-spiral gunman in one last desperate attack to drive themselves right at the anti-spiral homeworld and bore a hole right through him. With his defeat, he asks Zimon to protect the universe, and Zimon swears that humanity will, that they're not that stupid to destroy it. The spiral universe between dimensions detonates and spews the team back towards Earth. Earth then is, well, saved, and humanity starts reaching to the stars to connect with the scattered spiral races. Nia and Zimon get married, but Nia vanishes as a result of the anti-spiral's programming within her, what made her become a turncoat earlier in the series. As that programming ceases to function, Nia ceases to exist, and Zimon decides that he'll return to his life as a digger, while humanity continues to move on and reach for new heights. And that's the battle and its consequences. Alright then. This is normally where I would break down some useful writing tips about writing fight scenes and so forth. But like I said from the beginning, I'm going to do something a little different this time around. I'm going to reverse engineer part of this epic clash into prose on the page. I have taken great umbrage with the argument that movies and shows can prevent a fight much better than what you read on the pages of a book. Another argument I think that is really damaging to our attempts at writing good action is this: it's always better in your head, and you can never get it from your head right onto the page. Well, those who believe that either don't quite grasp how shows and movies are written, and I stress written. True, fights take form in our minds first before becoming words on the page. But what you see on the screen was once words before it became those wonderful moving images. A transformation from images in the mind into